Jet lag, Sabrino? Yeah. But you'll be hearing from her, don't worry. Which means all of our guests this morning, they kind of get an easy time because Mayor Alex like, whoo, Bree's gone. All right. We're just going to habla, right? Mayor Jesse Alig. You know, every Monday, guys, we do an update with the Mayor's Council of Guam, and sometimes it's Mayor Alig. Sometimes he'll bring on, different mayors. Mayor, just full disclosure, I did reach out to Mayor Luis Rivera a little bit ago, just because of the stabbing that took place in her village. But unfortunately, she has a family funeral to attend to this morning, so she's going to come on tomorrow just to kind of give us an update. We'll cover that, and then whatever else is going on in the village. But pretty eventful weekend for the Mayor's Council of Guam, Mayor.
No, I think it was a good weekend. I think everyone had I mean, of course, it's unfortunate tragedy, right, that we experienced yesterday. But I think for the most part, I think everyone was doing okay this weekend. Seems like a relaxed weekend. Last week I did appear at the legislature for that resolution 9336, and that was important for us because, I mean, this American Rescue Plan funds are important for us as an island, and there are different points of view as to how that's going to best work for us. And in the mayor's on the mayor's side, it would definitely help us in maintaining the island so that we can prepare it for our tourist arrivals. So we're hoping that we certainly can get a fair share of that pie, and as well as fund the other operations government wide that assist us. And so, I do know that being there was important for us as a council, but it was also important so that the governor knows that we want to work with her as well in hopefully receiving those funds, not only for the mayor's council, but like I said, for the other agencies that are important for us. And I mean, they're important for us because, for example, CLTC. We have a lot of trash issues, and KUM did a great story, or did several stories on illegal dumping, and a lot of that happens on CLTC property. And so perhaps this money can actually go to regulate that more for those lease agreements that are made, because a lot of our issues are from the CLTC properties, and they may not have anyone on there, but there's definitely someone who's leasing the property, and we find a lot of junk vehicles. And we say junk vehicles because we have a lot of mechanics on Guam. Yeah. So they take apart what they need and then they dump it, and so that's one of the bigger problems for some of the mayors. And so a lot of regulation is necessary, and we think is important for those CLTC properties, and not only for junk vehicles, but for everything else that's related to the property that the lessees do not follow. And so, and that's a big image for us, because when tourists drive around the island and they get lost, right? They go into this road, right? So what do they see? They see trash. And so it is, that's definitely something on our list, and we're hoping that both the legislature and the governor consider that. I think I also talked about the DPW share, and that's important as well, because the village streets master plan. I mean, the mayors played a vital role in that master plan, and I believe that master plan was somewhere 2008, 2009. It was developed in that year, those years, and I'm not sure how much of that plan is actually being followed. Nevertheless, we do know that DPW does try their best to implement or execute that plan. But I know that was like several millions of dollars that it needed, or maybe even hundreds of millions of dollars. But anything to execute a portion of that plan, to upgrade and to make our roads safe for us in PD, and for like Malesso and Santa Rita and other villages, flooding is a big issue. And so when it's raining, and sometimes tourists don't plan to be here on rainy season, but they're here. And so if they're driving, right, it is a big deal. If you're driving Route 1 in PT, that Polaris Point is a big deal, because then they have to turn around. So all those issues are certainly at the forefront of the Mayor's Council. And again, we're just hoping that they can be addressed, because it not only helps us as an island, but it helps our economy in the end. And when we're looking at we're looking at increasing capacity or increasing jobs that in the private sector. Perhaps this can help with the contracting agencies or the contractors hiring more workers. I do know of some contractors or construction companies who are having difficulty with maintaining these men and women who work for them, the heavy equipment operators and their and that sort, because of PUA. And we all know that. You guys have covered stories on that.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a big deal for us. And like I said, we're definitely on top of that and hoping we can, again, get some money from it and get some help, because it'll certainly make a big deal for us, or a big dent in our operations. And of course, the endless problem is the animal control, right? So we talk about it all the time. I mean, it's like some people I want to turn off the radio if I start hearing animal control.
Not me.
But
I turn it up. I turn it up when I hear animal.
So the animal control issue, I mean, and that's, I mean, and I reported that discussed it at our last mayor's council meeting, that I do want to take a more active role in our stance with animal control. And so we will be, the mayor's council will be working on our own standing committee for animal control, and we will press forward. But the ARP, how that relates to ARP, because the legislature recommends to the governor $5 million to agriculture. But the entire $5 million is not for animal control. It was recommended for different divisions within the agriculture. But one of the things that's important is to know that the increasing capacity again is important, especially for our Roundup committee, because you reported it as well, that villages, mayors sometimes have to hold on to the dogs and cats because gain is full. So increasing capacity is real important for us, but also to push that point further, the operation and the manpower at the Division of Animal Control is also very important, because agriculture needs to ramp that division up, because animal control is within their realm, within their responsibility. Right. And so we're really hoping that some of this money can be used for that purpose. And it ties also into keeping our industry afloat, our tourism industry afloat, because we don't want our tourists and our visitors to see that. And it's a lot. It happens in not only in Tumon, it's everywhere. So that's important for us, and that's what I presented at the legislature last week. And we're crossing our fingers still. Haven't heard anything. But I do want to rebut what Mr. Burns said, though, and I was waiting for Sabrina to be here so she could throw me all the stones and say, well, Mr. Burns said this. Well, Mr. Burns said that, but I have email that says otherwise. That we did submit our timesheets, and we did make that request to pay our employees the COVID pay. But again, the notice to us was that there was no funding for it, and that we would have to use our local funds. And it's black and white. It's not gray, So what we know is that we don't have local money to pay our employees the COVID pay, and we're waiting for stimulus money, which is this American Rescue Plan money to pay our employees.
I mean, Mayor, is that? I mean, for you guys to run, did you just run out of money to pay this COVID pay, or are you guys just totally broke in June?
No, we can't pay this COVID pay. Ever since we started COVID pay, it was from the CARES Act, right? So we never used local money, but we can't use local money because our local money that pays the regular salaries and our regular operations will run out in June, and so there's just absolutely nothing else that we can. We can't tap from anything else.
So, what would your message be to Mr. Byrne after his appearance on the show Friday?
Well, I mean, I don't need to send him a message. I think that Adelup has reconfirmed to me that our staff will get paid.
Okay, right on. And did they tell you how they're going to get paid, or they just said, "Hey, don't worry about it. Quit going on the link and complaining"?
Well, you know what? But you see, that's the thing about communication, right? So when we're communicating with one another, hey, you're gonna get somewhere. And so
Yeah.
I don't want to fight with anybody. I just want to get what's owed to our staff, and
That's it.
our staff are definitely owed it, right? So yes, no, I got confirmation that they are the chief of staff confirmed that that American Rescue Plan money will be used to pay our COVID.
Yeah, Mayor, I say all the time on the show and everything, there's 3 really effective ways to get the word out. And telephone, telegraph, or tell Chris Barnett.
Or tell a link.
Tell Chris Barnett. That's true.
Well,
you know,
John Jr. Calvo, if you're listening, Mayor Alig just announced that you confirmed. even if he didn't, you should just say he did.
You realize you're taking the place of many GovGuam memos right now, right?
Okay. Mayor, I hate to go off topic, but there was a comment, they deleted it though, but it said, "Is Mayor Alig wearing lipstick?"
Hey?
no. No, I'm not.
I don't want to judge, Mayor. I mean, it's Pride Month. It's 2021. If you want to wear lipstick, go for it.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. No,
Then my friend Joy commented, maybe it's chapstick.
no, I'm not.
Did you eat empanada this morning?
No,
No, anything with the choti.
no. That's just
a compliment. Hey, own it. Hell yeah, he's got big, juicy red lips. Right on. Don't hate, ladies.
Stop video.
Right. Stop video.
And Mayor, real quick, who made that lovely painting behind you?
Oh, it's actually from Hawaii. It's Stephen Powers. It's a copy of an original, one of his originals.
Oh, that's beautiful.
I like it because it's not only the Hawaiian seashore, but it has our Putitana view.
Yeah, it does. I see that.
Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah.
Well,
That's nice.
I don't know where we're gonna go after that lipstick comment, but
Stop video. I told
right,
you.
I know. What do you guys got?
It's still strong in here now.
Mayor, what you guys got going on this week, though?
This week, so we have we're real important for the 19 districts, villages. We have GPD traffic direction training, and that's important because you see our staff out there all the time escorting funerals and directing traffic at the schools. And one of the things that was always very alarming to me is that not everyone was trained. And so thank goodness for GPD's willingness to come out to train our staff. And so we have about 100 of our staff actually attending this training tomorrow, as a matter of fact. And that's our first part of the training. The next part will be for funeral escorting. And the thing is, we are not our staff are not police officers. And so, they really do need the training for it, because we run our amber lights, and sometimes I think some of our staff think they have the right of way, and liability is a big issue. So that's a big deal for us. The veterans, there's a veterans organization that's going
Mayor,
around the villages.
Sorry, Mayor, just to go back, when and where are you guys going to do that training?
Tomorrow at the Tumuning Senior Center. I believe it's from 9 a.m. to 12. Or 9 to 1 p.m. 9 a.m. to 1 p.m.
So is it going to be ITC intersection? Are they going out?
No, I don't know. It possibly could, yeah.
Because
when I first came into office and my staff, I had my staff trained, and they were trained out there next to your traffic light in Harmon.
Right.
It was a funny story, but it's better that they're trained that way, right?
It's do or die out there, Mayor.
Exactly. Do it right.
Yeah, they had the recruits out there directing traffic on Friday.
Yep, I saw that.
And it's always funny to see these recruits, and they're so green and they're shy. You know what I mean? They're like, oh, okay. And then you see them 4 years later, and their shirt sleeves are like 4 sizes too small. And
Mayor, I got a real quick question. Have any of your colleagues, or have you guys had like any sort of discussions about, of course, we're looking at Liberation Day as kind of like the day of whether our community will achieve herd immunity or not. But for the villages whose fiestas are coming up, after that, have you had any conversations about like how they might intend to observe, if not completely like celebrate, the patron saint of each village, depending on where we are at that point?
So the fiestas are typical. Of course, the mayors always play a vital role in fiestas, right? But the fiestas are really controlled by the Archdiocese of Agana, because they're the ones that set the schedule
Right.
Okay.
and
Because the most recent
they're-
one was Sinahanya, right? And I believe they said we observed, but by no means did we anybody
So no,
host
we
a
haven't
party.
we haven't had any discussion about fiestas in particular, but I think most are still doing it as they did last year, where they just have the mass at the church, and that's really it. I don't believe there's any food serving
Mhm.
after the mass, or there's any parties at all.
Okay.
I believe there's like coming up. I think it's I think Ordered is coming up, right? And so I know that they're just kind of having a mass. They're not doing any not Tauto Tumano or any other kind of festivities.
Okay.
That kind of just goes right into like liberation. So again, we'll be having a committee meeting on with the liberation memorials, because they have to plan as well, and we want them to plan within their 100 capacity or 100, because it can get out of hand. It really can get out of hand.
Yep.
Mhm.
I mean, there's some mayors there was one mayor who said he could easily have 200 to 300 people at his memorial, and I mean, of course, who's there, right? Our Manonko are there, so you want to be careful. I mean, if they're going to be there, then maybe just them, and separate them, and whatever it is, as long as we're following protocol. Right?
And for countless families on island, I mean, this hosting their villages fiesta is like a tradition that goes generations deep and everything. So of course they're going to want to participate, but hopefully in a safe way.
They are. But the villages, the mayors still are not lending out equipment as we typically do. So a lot of times and so the other thing is that a lot of us have also reduced our equipment inventory because of COVID, right? And so we have to be careful with that. When we receive it, everything has to be sanitized. Before it goes out, it just has to be sanitized again, because it went from one hand to another hand, from a storage container, right? So there's our operations have changed drastically since COVID, and so borrowing 200 to 300 chairs, 4 canopies and 20 tables is just out of the picture these days.
Right.
And so most mayors are not even lending out canopies and tables anymore. Some don't even have that available, but the chairs, I know that they're still lending out about 50 chairs per resident. As requested, but then some mayors only have 100 chairs. There are other mayors that have more, and so and in a way it's a good thing, because we cannot control what happens outside of our office, and we can't control what happens at the park, and we can't control what happens at their home in so many ways, right? So there are definitely residents who are really good about making sure that the protocols are followed. So that's a good thing. But we don't have the same equipment inventory as we did pre-COVID.
Right. Mayor, you were saying something about the veterans before we got off topic.
So there's a veterans organization. It's kind of a long. The Way, the Truth, and the Light. I don't. That's it's their stationery says by veterans and for veterans, and so they're going around the villages holding these outreach town hall meeting type events, and they're trying to establish a veterans registry, and so they'll be in PD this Wednesday at 7 p.m. at the PD social hall. I know they've been to MTM. I believe they've even been to Dededo already, but they're going to be going around the villages. Every time someone asks us what our veteran population is in the villages, we don't know, and we don't have we don't have a good count, and we don't have a database for it. That's definitely also, that's one of the other things that I was asking for with this American Rescue Plan, is for the Office of Technology to include us in this technology upgrade, because the Mayor's Council of Guam is, we all have our own email addresses. We don't have a single server that takes care of all of us. It's just we're all on our own. We don't connect to public health, public revenue tax, GURA. So that's behind the times. Really, we need to step it up. So hopefully that'll be included in that. But yeah, that's the veterans organization. There's different gentlemen that are part of that.
Is it local, Mayor, or like the national?
Yes. It's local.
Oh,
It's
send me
local.
some contacts and we'll get them on the show to get the word out.
Okay. Yeah,
Right on.
yeah. I'll send it to you. And you know what? We have a lot of big veterans in PD, and so when I sent that out on email, they responded that they were thankful. And so, you know, if they're going to reply to that as being helpful, then you know that's a good thing.
Right on.
So, yeah.
Well, let's gas you up a little bit before you go. G Mart Takenko in our comments, he has got lips. Maggie Monroe Anderson says, haha, too cute.
I told you.
Maggie writes in, haha, too cute, feeling jelly of those juicy lips, Mayor.
Eee.
And Gmar again puts, that's what you call hot lips. There you go, Mayor. Have a good Monday.
You too.
Mayor, you're gonna be able to charge for selfies and autographs pretty soon.
Have a great week. Adios.
Mayor, that's all natural, right?
Yeah. You know,
He's
you know
like,
what?
"God."
He also has the most signature laugh. I think not just of the mayor's, but of any Guamanian. Like you hear that big boisterous booming laugh and everything like that. You know, Mayor Jesse's in the house.
All right, 7:24. Who's coming up on the show, Jay?
Yeah, well, Crystals is scheduled to join us from Adelup in just a few moments, and we are going to talk about exactly where we are with the number of Guamanians who have registered for the vaccination giveaway. She's coming up. And after we do news, after we switch over and go on KUM TV at 8 o'clock, Landon, because it is Monday, from the NWS is going to come in and tell us what the weather situation is, could be, will be. And, you know, Landon's always going to have these really cool slides with probably something featuring, like, North Carolina State
It was hot
University.
yesterday.
It was hot.
Yeah, right?
Did you get any exercise this week?